And good evening all. Welcome back to another playthrough live and exclusive to YouTube. I am your host, Wishbone, for the remainder of the evening. And for those of you who've not been here before, normally we play games blind for the first time live. But, well, for this series, for this month, we're going back old school to the PS2 era with some classic retro racing on Gran Turismo 4. A game I first played way back in the day, and boy do I feel old. For those of you who've been here before, whether you watched me battling through the endurance race on the last stream, maybe you're here watching me take on the Shin Megami Tensei and Persona games, losing my mind on the Crash Bandicoot and Sonic Adventure streams, or even the weird and quirky ones like Doki Doki Literature Club and the murderous Sonic the Hedgehog. A huge welcome back to all of you people. That includes you, Queen, who's just saying hey Switch, and also to Joe Duke, which is the same as well. Thank you, pair of you. And of course, those of you who've come back, whether you're new or old, well, without you, the streams they'd be active, but nowhere near as interactive or as reactive. And therefore, with that in mind, use the chat box that way, and you can get your comments in there, and I'll do what I can to go through things with you. Right, so on the last stream, of course, we'd won this amazing Mercedes CLK GTR. So, the thing is, I do need to start trying to do some of the other events if I can. Now, I've noticed in my garage, I have this Chevrolet Corvette convertible. One thing I've not been able to do so far is the Spider and the convertible races. So, looks like it's a bit low on power though, so I'm going to take it to the old tuning shop and see what I can get out of the old girl. Because it's a 1950s Chevy, and I'm going to shove a load of modifications in like a hooligan. Because I have no respect for history and art, apparently. So we'll see what we can do. We've got 950 or 1,000 credits to play around with. We should have enough there to be able to get a decent ride out of this machine. And then hopefully be able to get ourselves another championship ticked off. I want to try and win the events where I can, because that way I will be able to actually take on the World Championship. While I was off stream, I clicked on that by accident. It's like you need to win all the professional and beginner events. Which is going to be a problem for one reason. I've still not been able to find a car that counts as a supercar. And I've no idea where the hell I'm going to find a truck in a prize car only run. Oh, I can double the horsepower. Yes. Yes, Queen. I am an uncultured swine. How many of my streams have you watched again? You could never watch one of my streams and like claim it to be the epitome of culture, can you? I can't even say the word. What does that tell you? You say you don't know cars, Queen. I mean, I'm sure you know plenty of cars in Final Fantasy VIII. Yeah, there's a question for you, Queen. Of all the cars you can hire in Final Fantasy VIII, which one do you like best? Oh, now I'm going to be chipping at your memory. You're welcome for that one. Yeah, American power. That's right, Joe. We need to have American muscle. We'll get the fully customizable transmission, purely because I want to be able to mess around with the gear ratios. We saw with the Mercury Kuga XR7 how vital that was. Ah, you don't, Queen. Fair enough. Then again, not knowing you, you probably made your characters super junctioned and blam and were able to one-shot everything. You're like me in Final Fantasy VII. You know the game far too well and know all the tricks. Now, speaking of games, by the way, PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium announced their titles today. And interestingly, the PS4 versions of both Dishonored 2 and Dishonored Death of the Outsider are being added. Now, I'm not going to be able to play them right away because I'm going to be away in Canada for an unspecified reason when they go live. But maybe when I come back from June... in June, I will actually go back to Dunwall so we can one more time take on the Dishonored franchise. What do you all think of that? Maybe do Dishonored Death of the Outsider. And if you're not sure about what that series is, go and check the two Let's Plays out. Cheap plug, I know. Right, so we'll quickly go to the beginner events. It's a bit weird having fought through quite a lot of the challenging and super hard endurance races and now going to a beginner event. It's convertibles only. Well, I'm in an American car. Look at that, isn't it gorgeous? Doesn't it look superb? So we'll start at the Twin Rim Motegi. Yeah, you know more than I do about the cars there, Queen. Way more. Oh. My water bottle was sealed. Right, okay, so the question is, will this car hang up to these? Well, the A-spec points is only 5... Oh, what the hell? Get that roof down! Why on earth have you put the roof up? It's a convertible. Get the roof down. This is going to feel very, very slow, by the way, people. Oh, I'm going to have to quit this race. I mentioned it, didn't I? And what did I forget to do? I forgot to mess around with the gear ratios. I was topping out at 98 miles an hour. No. Not happening. No. Yeah, I can understand the Ragnarok being quite difficult to pilot, Queen. I remember seeing that. I'm thinking, yeah, no. I'll happily sit in the car. That's fine. Right, so we want to quickly go to the transmission. Oh, God, yeah, what is that? Absolutely nonsense. I don't think so. Get me some better power than that. Gear ratio's that short? When does it think I'm racing? Monte Carlo? We've got a Lotus Elise now. This could make things more awkward. And bizarrely, by messing around the gear ratios like that, it's increased my A-spec points. That makes no sense. It suggests I'm not going to be as competitive. Let's find out, I guess. Here we go. Take 2. Oh yes, I'm not used to that. Engine dip. Yeah. Power! Absolutely, Joe, you're not wrong. That's the way to do it. Get your Fiat Barchetta out of my way. I'm in a V8 American muscle car. Get your rubbish JDM wannabe car out of my way. I'm an American classic. I own the road. I'm in my Chevrolet Corvette. You carry on like that, son, I'm going to send you back to where you come from. Your mama's not going to know what to do yet. Or something like that, I don't know. For any Americans out there, I apologise if I sounded like an old boomer. A boomer I may be, but I'm not old. Yeah, now I'm in the lead. This car is kind of running away with it, let's be honest here. And that's what happens when you have money to burn. Yeah, I can see sort of. I win courage to tell you what. Saying, you keep your Japanese cars out of my way. I got some classic American muscle. Kind of muscle will stump a hole in your behind and take your girlfriend from you. I'm sounding like a jock from a really bad 80s movie now, aren't I? Which is ironic because I was born in the 80s. I am a child of the Vauxhall Nova VW Golf generation. And I'm here driving a 50s American muscle car. What does that tell you? The Lotus Elise is a nice little pocket rocket, but it's not holding a candle to the power that I've brought into the game here. Yep, so we're almost at the end of this race. It feels weird driving a regular road car now. I actually saw a thumbnail for a video, by the way, which I've not watched because I only saw it 5 minutes before I went streaming. But there's another YouTuber who's playing Gran Turismo 4 at the moment. And their challenge is, can you beat the game using only road legal cars? So basically that means ones that have got, you know, road legal spoilers, road legal turbos, road legal headlights, no side skirts, indicators, the whole 9 yards. I'd be interested what car they try to win the World Championship in with that. I'm guessing it'd be something like the R34 Skyline, or maybe the SLR McLaren. But either way, that's our first car, that's our first race in the bag. So now we've got a race at Trial Mountain. We're going back over the pond to America. We're going to Oregon. Because in Gran Turismo 7, that's where Trial Mountain was officially confirmed as being set. In Oregon, USA. In case anyone's curious, by the way, iced coffee. That's what I've got here. Oh, we got a standing start for this one. That's good. And, oh, we're going backwards. Hey! How dare you scratch my paintwork? You Vauxhall VX220 driver. Get your fake Lotus out of here. Yep. Muscle beats import every time. Every time. That's how far behind they are. Oh, by the way, Joe, if you're interested, do you want to know why GT7 also sucks? They've taken out the fast chicane at Trial Mountain and they made it 2 long hairpin corners instead. It feels so soulless compared to the original. After 6 games of being left alone, they neutered it in the 7th game. Polyphony Digital, you suck. I almost went drifting in the car then. Drifting in an old American muscle car. Absolutely, you're not wrong, Joe. It's not quite the same. There's certain things I like about it. You have a higher resolution view of the forest and everything else, but the tunnel section goes on for absolutely ever. And the pit entrance systems is totally different. And the 2 hairpins just feel boring. I'd say Ruffle Waffle did a lap in an old Mazda MX-5 or, you know, a regular MX-5 or the new Trial Mountain. It took 2.5 minutes to complete. Well, a lap of Trial Mountain shouldn't take anywhere near that long unless you're trying to get the Mercedes-Benz painted Motorwagen from 1886 around it. And no, that's not a challenge. It's not happening. Laguna Seca broke me when it comes to that car. Say hi to the fans because I can. Huh? Now it's reversing. Why? What was the computer doing with my car then? Unbelievably, a Mazda Miata was going to come second. AKA the Mazda MX-5 for all those of us in Europe. Even with the roof up, that's still a beauty, isn't it? What a thing of beauty. Gorgeous. Absolutely stunning car. Fantastic. So we're taking the old American muscle car out. I'm wondering what kind of car we're going to get as our reward for this. Knowing my luck, it'll be something like an MX-5. Or a really old, really useless convertible. Like a 1912 one. I don't think it's going to be another 1886 car, which I've already won both of those. Oh, that's a good question, Joe. Do I have a favourite Corvette? If I had a favourite Corvette, I'd probably say it's actually the old Corvette Stingray from 1969. The one that you could get in the original Gran Turismo 1 in arcade mode. There was just something about that really long, sweeping bonnet and the little, like, raised nose in the middle. And it just had a really awesome sound, a really throaty engine. It's a car that, like, can barely handle. It's like driving a boat, but it's just such a stunning car. But the C5 and the C2 are great. The C5 C2 are excellent. But for me, it'd be the old classic Corvette Stingray. Oh, we got a full lap of the sports car layout, I think. No, it's not the sports car layout, it's the full circuit. We're doing the full circuit of Infineon, aka Sears Point. That's a surprise. Nope, didn't mean to hit the Fiat Parketta. And then there's a Mercedes SLK. Mr. Miata driver. Get back in the loser lane where you belong. So the C5, wasn't that the one that's been like a racing modified one that's featured in like Gran Turismo since 3, like GT3 all the way up to like GT6? That was a good car. So when I was at Le Mans in 2013, yeah, well, no, 2014, sorry, 2014. When I was at Le Mans, the new C7 which they had was absolutely beastly. The sound was just unbelievable. Piloted that day by Jan Magnussen, actually, father of Kevin Magnussen, the Formula 1 driver. Ah, so it was that one, that's awesome. Before it was Joe, I wasn't quite sure. And good evening to you, Avian, just seen you jumping there. We're currently in the Corvette, well, I say I'm in a Corvette, that's what we're driving. We're in an old Corvette from the 1950s, and we're in the convertible and Spider event. So we've got the top up for some stupid reason, because the game raised the top without my knowing, and we're driving an old 50s American muscle car. And it's fun. I also need to find if I've got a front engine, front wheel drive car in my garage anywhere. Because if I do, that's another series event I can tick off. As for me, Avian, I'm absolutely fine. Thank you for asking. How are you getting on? You had a good day? I'd say I'm ticking down the time until I'm off work, and working very, very hard. Joe, that's actually not a stupid question at all. You say a car's noisy when you go to the circuit. A lot of it depends on the class of racing you go to. Modern Formula 1 is nowhere near as noisy as it used to be, because a lot of their what are called power units now generate their engine power from turbos, which aren't very audible. When I was at Le Mans, the Audi R15 was so quiet it sounded like a vacuum cleaner going by. But then the Toyota with its 3.7 litre V8 sounded like a classic F1 engine. The Corvette C8 was absolutely astonishing. That sounded like a proper angry muscle car. The Rebellion Toyota, that had a really nice sound, like a 2002 era Formula 1 car. If you go to touring cars, their engines are interesting because they sound quite guttural because they've got anti-lag. So you instantly hear the whine of the turbo, and then you just hear the engine gunning. So, and the big thing, one of the most audible things at racetracks, Joe, is tyre locking. When cars lock up, the shriek that they generate in the noise is ear-splitting. If you watch TV and you see someone like lock up and generate a cloud of smoke, you just go, oh, never mind. When you're at the circuit, it is a really visceral sound. You know someone's locked up. So I highly recommend checking out racing if you get the chance. It's brilliant. Go into an auto race. I'd say Le Mans is one of the cheapest motor races I've been to, and it's just absolutely amazing value. You get so much for it. So I think that's all 3 convertible races won. So with any luck, we're going to get a new prize car. Yes, here we go. What have we won? We've won a Chrysler Proud. What in the name of all that's holy and unholy is that? What is that thing? It's like an old 50s bathtub racer has crashed into the back of a dune buggy. That is... I am perplexed. Look at that front grille. It's like a snowplow. What the hell? It's got a moustache. What the hell is that car? I may not like it, Queen, but it's one of my prize cars, so depending on its drivetrain, I might have to bloody use it. And so I'm liking how placating you've been in the comments there, Avian. It's nice. Yeah, I like it. It's fine. That kind of way of dealing with it. Right, go on then. Let's see how ugly it is. It's front rear. Right, I don't have to drive it. Thank fuck for that. I don't have to drive it. It's front rear. It's got a rear wheel. It's rear wheel drive. I don't want it. So I'm trying to see if there's any cars I can use. The Mitsubishi FTO Super Touring is 4-wheel drive. I've already won that one. I'm trying to see if we've got any competitive like front cars, so front engine, front wheel drive. The Alpine is rear. So rear engine, rear wheel drive. That's no use. The old Chevrolet Camaro, that's going to be front rear. Thought it would have been. Yeah, same with the Chevelle. Jensen Interceptor, what's that? Oh, that's front rear. It's a very nice car, but unfortunately it's no use. Oh, well, I think I'm out of options. I don't think I've got any front wheel drive cars. Front rear. DMC DeLorean is rear. That car was built in 1982, not 2004. Yep. I think I am out of options. I need to find a front-wheel drive car somewhere. I just don't know where. I have no understanding. Now, I've got an idea, though. This car is a Porsche in disguise. Will this qualify for the Supercar Showdown if I modify it? It needs more horsepower, but it looks like it might qualify. I'm going to give this a try. Let's get some more power into it. And it needs standard or sports tyres. So, tyres it's got at the moment are the sports softs. I'm going to put some sport mediums on. I get the feeling soft tyres will burn too much. They'll burn through them. Power. Right, it's got a racing exhaust. Can't upgrade that. Put new brakes in, but before I do that, I need to make sure I can get it over the horsepower limit. And I can. That gets it to 565. That gets it to 613. Let's go over stage 3. Because if I can win using the RUF Yellowbird, which I believe handles like an absolute animal. I believe this car is very, very live, shall we say. It's a bit of a live wire to drive. Yep, I want that because I want to be able to change the gear ratios. I'm running out of money again. I'll have to win some races then, won't I? Just taking a quick swig of coffee. Excellent. Okay. Racing flywheel, that's good. I gotta say, menu management is one of the problems with this game. But at least you can change your parts. In Gran Turismo 7, once you fit a modification, that's it, it's permanent. Unless you replace it with a new one. Which is a major problem. Because being able to adapt it, you either have to find more versions of the same car, or buy new ones. Right, let's try and see if this Supercar Festival can be won. Because if I can, that's one event I can tick off. Yeah, because then with that, I only have to go back and win the 2 beginners and we can take on the World Championship. Okay, let's see how badly we get outclassed here. What are the races? Seoul Central, Fuji Speedway, New York, Midfield and Infineon. Right, let's start with Midfield. It's one of the simpler races. Let's go with this one and see how we go. The only thing that I've got as a concern here is it says 6 laps. So will the tyres last? We've got the Callaway C12. The Callaway C12? What? The Proto Sports Spira, the Saline, a Ford GT and a Spiker. This is going to be difficult. The good thing is, my car's got a turbo. Oh, they shoved each other off the track. Yeah, that's fine. You guys do that. You guys shove each other. Oh, God, there's no grip. There is no grip on these tyres. Oh, my God. There is 0 grip. I have got 0 grip. Oh, God. I am sliding worse than an eel in an oil slick at the moment. This is a horrendous driving experience on these tyres. This car is not designed for sports tyres. I now know that. I'm going to need to take a very different driving style, which is not my approach, but there's nothing I can really do about it. Just got to hope that the power can allow me to recover on the straights. Hey, stop hitting my car, you. Yeah, they absolutely destroy me in the corners. Yeah, unfortunately, Queen, I'm not allowed to fit better tyres, because if I do, I'll be outside the regulations. You can only use sports tyres, you can't use racing tyres. Sports tyres have got like less of a contact patch and they've also got grooves on them, and that means that you don't get all the rubber down. With the slick tyre, you've got nothing to stop the rubber from reaching the surface. And that Ford GT is running away, which is a problem. I know, whereas Queen, you got half an hour before you're back. Well, you enjoy it. Well, an hour, half an hour, however long it is. Yeah, the brakes just don't work. I had the brakes full on then and I was not slowing down. The car just wasn't stopping. So it's a car that you can't really drive the way you normally would. You can't, like, ride the brakes as such. So this is going to be a very difficult series to win. Very difficult. But that's okay. We've got a challenge here now, people. It's not a case of my car go burr. I never thought I could have modified the old Chevrolet Camaro. That might have been a better option. Oh, it's too late now. I'm already locked in. If I don't win in the RUF, I'll switch to the Chevy Camaro. See if I can make that work. Well, to be fair, that gap has come down. We have closed the gap. You say it'd be your car go boom, Avian. Well, I mean, I can understand, to be fair. Yeah, that Ford is much, much closer. The gap is coming down. I'm chipping away at his lead, which is fine because we've got another 3 laps to play with. And again, at New York, where there's much longer straights, my car might be a massive overpowered one, but here it's something of a liability. But you can visibly see how much that gap has shrunk, so we're definitely catching up. The RUF Yellowbird is a fun car to drive, but it's very, very lively, is the best way to describe it. It's an old Porsche in the every sense of the word. Rear engine, rear wheel drive, very heavy steering, very much a live wire car. A car you need to drive angry. Oh, this is good, we're picking up a tow. Nice one. We're in the slipstream now, we're actually close enough for a tow. Oh, damn it! I thought I'd done enough to catch him then. I just felt the car's tyres going on the right hand side. I'm like, no, no, no! And I knew the grip had gone, and that was it, I was done. So we got it all to do again, and that gap has doubled. This is going to be hard. Oh, come on. That Ford GT is just so much more planted in the corners. That's where it's getting away. My car just hasn't got the grip. I apologise for not getting to your messages, people. I am deep in the zone here. Trying desperately to catch up. 2 laps to go after this one. 2 laps. 1 lap to catch, 1 lap to pass. That's the plan. That's the strategy. But like all well-laid plans, it's probably going to come to naught if I'm not careful. Yeah, I touched the grass then, but luckily, that might have actually helped me, believe it or not. I might have just got in the right position to get on the gas at the right time. But you can see just how much that gap has increased. Even though my lap time's not that different to what I'd set before as my best, it just shows how I clearly got the pace wrong. Yeah, on the edge, and then in. No, car ran out of grip. That's me screwed. That's the race over. Right there. That's the point I've lost the race. I'm going to have to do this race again, people. Sorry to say. Apologies for that. Unless I get a magic lap in a moment. It's not over until the checkered flag falls, of course. I'd say it's the tyres. The tyres are letting me down so much. I just don't have the grip. The car's just sliding everywhere. When it's in a straight line, it's perfect. But because there's so little grip, I can't get on the brakes either. You see, it's just taken 2 seconds out of my fastest time. And it's not enough, and you can see there where the car just loses all grip. Why has he suddenly started going so fast? Why has he started going so much quicker than me when I was catching him before? This makes no sense. His lap times must be in the 116s. And he wasn't doing that before. Either he's only just switched his tyres on now, or something else is going on in the game. And I'm expecting it to be the tyres. I'm going to try this again, but I'm going to put soft tyres on. I'm putting softs on. These mediums have just not got the grip. I can't get into the car. I can't. Yeah, so I mean, I can't ride the brakes at all. A disappointing second place. I'm very, very annoyed with that. Very annoyed. You say... There we go. I also think that Ford GT is a little too good overall as a car compared to what I've got. Just because I can. Did someone just rear-end me? So good evening, Mr. Jack. Yes, nice to see me stream. Well, thank you very much, mate. It's a pleasure to be back. And, new profile pic from the con you were at. Which con were you at? Where did you go? And what did you go as? Because it looks kind of cool to me, mate. And as you say, Joe, that car must be a nightmare to drive. The old Porsches are not the easiest things to control, it must be said. Now, we'll try the same race again, but this time I'm going to put on the soft tyres. Just to see how much different the pace is. Oh, well, that explains that. And they must have, if they rear-ended me, they've rear-ended me. There's not much I can do about that. Let's try the soft tyres. Also, going for the transmission. I don't really need to change that, actually. That's okay. We'll leave it as it is. Right, let's try it again. Now, the question is, do we have a Ford GT in the race? Because that might make all the difference too. No, but we have an SLR McLaren. So I expect the SLR McLaren to be very, very difficult. And you went to Hull Connors Marie. Is that Marie from the Aristocats? Because that's awesome, mate, if you did. That's fantastic. And you got a con in... Doncaster. As Toothless. Oh, Toothless. Oh, I know that character. Yeah, that's pretty awesome, mate. Sounds great. Right, well, automatically I'm feeling better on the brakes. The brakes feel a million times better in this car. That's a very cartoony looking Audi there. Which I've now just blasted by. I've got my RUF go blur. Oh my god, these tyres have made the world of difference. These tyres are much, much, much better. They're still not perfect, but they do make the car a lot easier to manage. I'm able to get the car into the corners much easier. The braking doesn't feel as out of control either, because that was one of the issues. On the brakes, I found myself like skidding and sliding, and that's because I went over the curb. Nothing to do with the tyres, that. That was me going on the curb that screwed me over them. That was nothing to do with the car. But I can already feel just a much better grip drive here. Yeah, it's much better. So much smoother. My only concern is whether the tyres are going to last the distance. That's my major problem here. But the only way I'm going to know that is by getting into the race, so just got to do what I can. So far, so good. And I'd say this just feels a lot better. I'm much clearer in the car. I don't feel as on the limit. It's like when I was driving it on the last run, I was on an absolute knife edge. And here, I'm on a thin ledge, but it's not as thin as a knife. So Queen, you were right. I did need better tyres. I know you're not here to hear it, but that's why I'm saying it. So here we go. I'd say we were doing 118s on the previous run. With these soft tyres, we are down... Believe it or not much faster. We're not that much quicker. Having said that, we were nowhere near as in control as that. Right, I'm not getting my braking point right for that corner. I'm not getting that point right at all. I'm really struggling to get the braking point for that corner because it seems to just like suddenly lose all grip in the middle of the corner, and I think it's because it's so heavily cambered. Normally, if you've got a cambered corner, you can take a lot more speed into it because you've got a banking for the car to ride. But either this car doesn't like the banking, or there's something about that particular bump that makes it difficult to get the grip. But it's okay. We're doing alright. Yeah, I get the feeling if the Ford GT was in this race, we still wouldn't be in the lead. You're probably right, actually, Joe. Yeah, it could be weight in the back of the car that's causing the issue too. Actually, it makes perfect sense because we've got the engine back there, which should make it lightening off the start at least, because it's got the engine over the tyres pushing it into the ground. That's how it should work. I don't know if it does. But this car is handling its tyres better than I thought it would, and it's keeping the car in control. Considering this is a prize cars only run, this is actually a good way of doing it, and we're hopefully going to get quite a decent car from this. It's the Supercar Festival, so we should get a decent reward. I say should because there's no way to confirm that. And that felt like a much cleaner lap. So we've done a 118. So that a little gently then, but it worked. So here we go. Yeah, it's interesting. When it goes high up the banking, it seems to lose all grip, which might lead credence to your theory, Joe, about the fact that with the engine being in the back of the car, because it's rear engine, rear wheel drive, that might be part of the problem. But it makes it fun to drive, I'll say that much for it. I'm having a hoot driving it. Mr. Fondue, the Gran Turismo 3 prize carousel. Yeah, I'm glad they changed that in this game. It's ironic because the GT7's kind of got the carousel back, but not for prize cars. Well, technically it does, but not really, because you barely ever win a prize car in the GT7 carousel. I've seen a video clip on YouTube of someone winning the pink Toyota Vitz about 7 times or something stupid like that, thanks to the prize carousel. It was their way of covering up for the lack of cars, that will make it difficult to win them. Things haven't really changed with Gran Turismo 7. Too soon? Yeah, these soft tyres make the world of difference with this car. Compared to the mediums, I actually have some grip. I'm surprised that the compounds are that different. Oh god, yeah, Mr. Fondue, you're not wrong. Yeah, I hate seeing... The moment you see the tiny little, like, 5,000 credits pile, you know that's what you're going to get, don't you? It's really, really frustrating. I still got the pink bits in GT3. I can't remember which one I had last time I played it. I think I got a green one. Oh, even the computer can't drive this car. What does that tell you? Even the computer was struggling with it. But yeah, so I've put the car's power up, and it's a beautiful looking machine, isn't it? The traditional classic 911. Beautiful machine. Absolutely gorgeous. So we've got our eye in with one circuit that's relatively straightforward. Now we've got much harder circuits to come. Wish me luck. I'm gonna need it. Yes, Avian, only 2 days until your vacation starts. Mine starts in 9. Although I'm having a half day on the final one, so it's not too bad to be fair. And then I'm off to a hotel, and then I'm flying 5,000 miles west. It's been 3 years in the making, but this year it's finally going to happen. I'm making it to Anima North in Canada. So if you're going to be there, come and say hi. In fact, speaking of Anima North, actually, I got an unexpected surprise in the post today. An extra accessory from one of my cosplayers arrived, and I didn't think it would get here in time. I now have a pair of Sailor Jupiter boots. I didn't think they'd make it, but they're here. They've made it. Need to get some insoles for them, but otherwise they're ready to go. They do fit. I just need some insoles. Is that the Vector? Yes, I think it is. Oh yeah, the classic 911s were very, very difficult to drive. Tiffany Dell loved them because he was able to get them in ridiculously long power slides. But then he also highlighted how they were very, very easy to crash because they were just like, they had so much power. So here we are in the streets of Seoul, South Korea. The stream has finally got some soul, which is strange considering there's a giant hole where my heart used to be. But apparently we've now got soul. Right, the question is, can I catch this car up? Because it looks like it's quite a rapid car. I'm not sure which car it is. Can't quite make it out from the infographic. It almost looks like an early version of a Ferrari Enzo, but I know it's not that because Ferrari are in this game. I don't think Ferrari made it in Gran Turismo until GT5 when they finally managed to get the license after EA had been hogging them forever. Something to do with, like, on the PlayStation, EA had, like, the exclusivity for it. Same with Porsche. It's why Gran Turismo got creative and licensed the roof manufacturer brand, because under German law, they counted as their own manufacturer. And that was their way around having no Porsches in the game. Oh yes, we're deep in the draft. You can hear the lack of sound from the air as we're following the swath of the wake. Oh, it's a VW V12, that's what that is. I recognise that car now. It's the VW V12 concept car, which I don't think ever made it beyond the concept stage. Although you can see the influence in the Bugatti Veyron in its shape, can't you? Yes, I'm not going to lose in a Porsche to a VW. Even though VW own Porsche, so it's kind of their own brand, but I digress. Volkswagen Das Auto, indeed. It's better than that. What's that one that Audi using them on? Vorsprung something. Something Technik. Vorsprung Technik or something. I don't know German, so the only time I do anything remotely German is when I voice Bebe in Persona 3. Character who's French, I made him German. Yeah, braking point all wrong then. Got that braking point completely wrong. Yeah, Vorsprung. I remember seeing it on like on adverts between races, and I'd be like, "That's their slogan in England. We're not going to remember that." You speak German, but you're getting worse every day. Well, if you're not in practice, it's understandable, Joe. I say, I mean, it's like me with Japanese. I've lost my edge on that. I need to get some studying done. If I'm going to impress all the weebs in Canada, I need to break out my Japanese again. You know Volkswagen Das Auto, that's it. The one that I used to always find funny was Toyota. Back in the day here in the UK, they had a advertising slogan which was, "The car in front is a Toyota." I'd hear it on the radio and I'm like, no it isn't, it's a Ford Escort. Not a Toyota, stop fucking lying to me. My stepdad's like, it's an advert, and I'm like, it's a lie, that's what it is. My mum would be giggling in the passenger seat going, he's not wrong. Ah, your dad owns a Tiguan, does he? Not a bad car, the Tiguan, from what I remember. Let's say the VW I'd want is the original Golf, the Mark 1 Golf. Beautiful car, very, very reliable, very fast as well. Although apparently you can get a like souped up version of the VW Up. It's like called the Up R or something like that, and it's basically like the original Mark 1 Golf. You know, same kind of size, similar kind of power, but with modern build quality. The car I've never understood the appeal of is the VW Beetle. It just... ugh. It's a horrible looking car. Something about it, I just look at it and I'm like, why would I want to drive that? Oh, nice. A 1990 Golf 2. Beautiful car choice. Excellent. That'd go like the clappers, that. Beautiful car. Retro classic right there. Yeah, it's curious. I know loads about cars and I know all about racing lives, but I don't drive. That's the really interesting thing. I need to learn to drive. I mean, if I had the money, my 2-car driveway would be a 1968 Dodge Charger RT and a 2001 Nissan R34 GT Skyline V-Spec. Yeah, I don't blame for it to own another one again. Classic car. Well, they'll be worth a lot of money these days, those cars. They'll be appreciating in value. You know, it's more than 30 years old, classic design. It's amazing how much things like that start to suddenly become valuable again. So we're on the final lap, I've only just realised. None of that's a bad thing. It's interesting, Avian. A lot of modern cars, you say your dad's like me struggling to find a lack of one they'd like. That's been happening with a lot of manufacturers, though. A lot of manufacturers haven't really put anything out that's been exciting. You used to see them all the time. If you watch Top Gear, you'd see the concept cars that are later become into actual production models, and there's just no excitement around them anymore. Like, you look at a car, it's more designed to be just used as like carting people around rather than being the joy of driving. The last truly great modern car that most people can afford to own in any way would probably be the Ford Focus RS. That was a really good car, the Focus RS. Beautiful machine. And yeah, the 205 GTI, the 1986, whether you had the 1.6 litre engine or the 1.9, did not matter. They were fantastic. The Peugeot 206, the VW Golf, and the Ford Escort XR3i were probably the holy trinity of hot hatches from that era. So we're on our way to Fuji. We're going back to Japan for the next level in the Supercar Festival tournament. I should back out to the main menu at some point so I can get my progress saved, just in case anything happens. But for now, we've got We've got the VW Nardus, we've got the Proton Motor Spirit, Tommy Kyra, the Spiker C8 and the SLR McLaren, but it's on the 90s layout. So it'll be interesting how we do with this one. Mile long straight, downhill in this car. I think I'll be braking at 200 metres. Even being on the brakes early hasn't helped me. I got on the brakes ridiculously early then, and the car was like, nope, I'm not stopping. Luckily we got 6 laps to catch up, so we're not totally out of it yet, but it's going to be a difficult ask. Well, thank you, Spiker, you've slowed my car down. I know that's not the way you're meant to take the corner, but it's fine. Get back in the loser lane where you belong. He's just punting me. I mean, it's funny, you say there's no electronics to interfere with the driving. Well, there is in Gran Turismo 4, but in general, you're right. Getting an old classic car, you just get on it. That's how you slipstream. Get so close that you can kiss the car ahead of you. Nice advert for Konami there. For those of you who blinked and missed it. Right, I'm getting on the brakes now. I had to brake more than 200 meters ahead of the corner then. That's ridiculous. That is a proper braking distance. But when I was going 190 miles an hour in an old Porsche 911 from the 80s, I'm not surprised. This car is like driving an attack dog that guards a scrapyard. It'll wag its tail at you for 1 second and the next it'll rip your arm off. Oh, bugger. I'm off the circuit. Managed to recover it by keeping the foot in. That could have gone better, but it could have gone worse. Arm on the grass. No, that's no good. That'll do fine. A little bit deep there, but we'll get away with it, I think. Yeah, these guys can catch me here as all they want. Doesn't matter because I've got a much faster car on the straights. When you say Mark Webber kissed that car, do you mean the car I'm driving at the moment, Joe? I was to say, I mean, obviously many races, and your beagle wants to stay you to stay where you are, Avian, to know your place. Like the judgy pets do that, don't they? Boom! There we go. Awesome. Yes, on the brakes and the corners, this car is not that great, but on the straights, it's amazing. I basically turned a European like finesse sports car into an American muscle car. It's great in a straight line, but useless anywhere else. Oh, yes, you're on about Valencia 2010 when he went into the back of Heikki Kovalainen, who was driving for Lotus. Yeah, interesting footage where he just literally went upside down. It was very elegant, but then he just literally threw the steering wheel out. Showed how well the car had been protected. Because Heikki Kovalainen had to brake like about 80 or 90 metres and the Red Bull could brake at 60. And Mark Webber just got it all wrong. Every time you move, it's like treat time. No. Treat time. No. Okay, I don't know how I managed to keep it under control then. I think I clipped the grass and the car started fishtailing, but I managed to catch it. Because this lady is not for turning. I just quoted Margaret Thatcher. What the fuck am I doing? Oh, that's a nice name for a dog, Avian. Brandy. That's beautiful. So if I had pets, and name after all my favourite characters from Danganronpa: Genocide, Junko, Ibuki, Akane, Kamaru, and Angie. Oh, we've gone too wide. That's really screwed my race, that. Yeah, I'll go and mow the lawn for the Fuji Speedway owners. I'll send them an invoice next week. And yet somehow I was still in the 33s despite going on the grass. That makes no sense. Not complaining, just makes no sense. Did well to stop the car from going off the circuit then. That was right on the ragged edge. This has actually been a challenging tournament. I've quite enjoyed it because the car has been a ferocious animal to drive, and yeah, we failed one race, which is fine, but in general this has been a very exciting tournament because all the races have been quite long as well, so it's been a really difficult one. Oh, that's good. You got a new adopted dog called Pepper. Pepper's a good name for a dog, especially if it has a spicy attitude. Or maybe if you're someone who's a well-seasoned dog owner. Yes, that's right, I'm beating you to all the puns, people. You're welcome. Even if you type them in the chat, I said them 30 seconds ahead of you. Tyres are right on the edge of being usable here. They're orange. The tyres are dangerously close to expiry. I've just got to keep it neat through the final corner. Doesn't matter how slow I am. That's not relevant. Yes, yes, okay, and we're in the clear. We're home clear. We're home free. I like the fact you got like a load of new names for your doggos there. Ah, Jack Russell Terrier. So my mother had a West Highland Terrier back in the day. Unfortunately, of course, it passed away last year. Real shame. Although my mum's dog did randomly make a cameo in one of my streams, actually. The second part of the Stray stream. She was just laid there on the couch. Stream about being a cat, and I've got a doggo in the audience. Right, I was just going back to save my data. That's the only reason I did that. It was purely so I had the data saved. Right, we're going to go to New York, New York. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be part of it. New York, New York. Well, I am going to be part of it, but I've also got to be part of a Ford GT. So this is going to be difficult. Yeah, that's right, Avian taking a nap on the couch, having a little lie down. Which is probably the best thing she could have done, actually. It was good with, my dulcet tones probably put her to sleep. So this is where we're going to be up against it. But the advantage we have is horsepower. The disadvantage we have is braking and turning. So this is going to be one of those circuits where we're using the opposition as brakes. That's what we're doing. We're braking by crashing into the cars. Yeah, that's how we're doing it. Get out of my way, you. Round the outside, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, that's right, Ford, get out of my way. Because that was the time Mum was away on vacation, so I decided to dog sit for her. I've no idea what that text is meant to say. It was all gibberish. Right, where's the 200 metre braking board? I'm going to brake. That's where I'll brake. I'll use the zebra crossing. Not bad at all. Yes, you wouldn't normally see a race round Times Square like this. It just wouldn't happen. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome as a spectacle, but there's just no way that the New York local state department would shut down Times Square. It's just not going to happen, is it? I do like this circuit in New York, actually. It's really cool. Yeah, excellent. Okay. So the RUF, the Supercar Festival, and I brought a car from the 1980s to the party. They're all driving cutting-edge modern supercars, and I'm there driving an old classic 911. So good thing about this game, it shows that you can have any car you like and still be competitive if you know what you're doing. Oh no, don't want to go in the pits. I very nearly pitted in then. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, I wasn't quite in control then, people. Didn't quite have control of my car. Oh, bollocks. Perfect. So far, so good. We just got to keep on going. So I'm loving all the details, like the flag that was fluttering in the wind then. It's kind of cool. It's not something you see in a lot of modern games. It's just nice little touches like that. Okay, it's low res, but it's still nice that it's there. I mean, like those pictures there, if you look closely, you can't make them out because they're that low resolution. The low res backgrounds really show up, and you can see just how rough some of the background geometry was. But it's still amazing that it's there. It's still phenomenal little reference points. All the adverts and everything else. It's superb. Excellent. It's interesting, Joe, because I'm not entirely. I know that when Forza 4 had New York in theirs, they had a very similar layout, except they didn't have the extended loop here on the back end. You literally just kind of like went back into a hairpin corner after the roundabout, and they added like a Mickey Mouse chicane after the first hairpin. So it doesn't surprise me if it's pretty accurate, because again, Forza 4 used exactly the same areas in the main in their version of New York. I remember seeing it and thinking, oh, this is great, all that experience on Gran Turismo 4. Nope, totally useless. The physics were totally different. People actually say that the driving physics in Gran Turismo 3 are better than the physics in Gran Turismo 4. I mean, I don't really remember playing much GT3, so it's difficult for me to say. But I do love this game. It's just so fun. It holds up even now, it's incredible. I'd much rather play this than the 7th entry, and that says a lot. And it's not because I've got rose-tinted nostalgia glasses on either. It just feels like an actual game. I feel like I'm playing a game. I don't feel like I'm trying to find ways to cheat the system to get what I want. I'm just having fun playing. It's curious that, isn't it? How many games in the modern era don't realise that making a game fun is the most important thing? It's like, what? People play games to have fun? Why would they do that? It's like they've lost touch in a way, certain developers. Not all, mind. I mean, Resident Evil 4 Remake's been a lot of fun. That's a modern game. SMT5 was fun. That was a modern game. So, there's some great games out there, don't get me wrong, but a lot of them now seem to be doing everything they can to make the game experiences grindier and less fun to play. Almost like it's you're doing a job, if you know what I mean. Clock in, do so many miles, get a reward that's worthless to you, do it again. You know what I mean? But where's the fun with that? You know, you're not having fun doing it. I think that's my biggest problem with Gran Turismo 7. I feel, as a player, I'm being incentivized to treat it like a career. Like I'm trying to get a new job as a sim racer, rather than just play a racing game to wind down, having spent hours dealing with whatever stuff I've got going on at work and in my personal life. It's like, it's like in the modern games now you have to like drive so many miles to get a roulette ticket or a potential upgrade or an invitation to buy a certain car, and it's very much a case of trying to get that excellent rating at work so they give you a slight pay rise. That's what it feels like as a game, which is not what I play games for. I play games to have fun. As you say, Avian, fun and playable. That's what matters. It's curious, that, isn't it? It's like, I suppose cars are the same. You drive a modern car and you've got 1,000,001 checks and balances and loads of things to get out of the way. Whereas if you get in an old car like a VW Golf GTI or a Peugeot 206 GTI, you turn the ignition, you put your seatbelt on, and you drive. That's it. If you want to go forwards, you press your foot on the accelerator and it goes. You don't have to worry about satisfying 1,000,001 checks, other than the checks you impose yourself. Fantastic. So that's another race in the can. Not sure which else we've got to do. I don't think that's all of them. I'm sure there's at least one more. Only way to find out, I guess, is by going back out of it. Yep, Infineon. I knew there was one more. This is a circuit I'm really going to find tough. In the RUF, the roof Yellowbird with the lack of grip. If we're doing the sports car course, so it's the full course, and we've got a Pagani Zonda on the grid this time. So that's going to be interesting. And the Pagani is in second place as well, behind the Nissan R390 GT1 car. A car that entered Le Mans, and at the time you had to produce road-going versions of the car in order to be able to qualify for Le Mans, very similar to how it was in Group B in the 1980s for rallying. I had a feeling that was going to happen, but I wanted to get myself set up for a potential overtake. Oh, because he hit me, I went off the circuit. It robbed my car of all traction. But somehow, I managed to stay in front of him, so I'm not going to complain too much. Right, time to catch up to the Italian and the Japanese. Oh, what the hell happened there? I think I must have braked too late and spun the car out thanks to the rear engine. That's what happened then. Only thing that makes sense. That's okay, we've still got 5 laps to go. This is always going to be a more challenging race because this track really isn't suited to this car. This car is not designed for a circuit like this. Long straights, tight hairpins at the end of it after a long distance, fine. Fast flowing corners where you need to chain your driving together, nah, it's not meant for that. Still, end of the first lap we managed to get into the lead, so I'm not complaining. Had to work hard for it, but we got that. See, this is where these guys are going to be all over my tailpipe. I agree, actually, the R390 is a really nice looking car, isn't it? It's amazing how it's kind of like a sleeper hit. Most people don't think of cars that were like supercars from the 90s. You always hear about the Lamborghini Diablo. You always hear about the Ferrari 355 F1. You always hear about the McLaren F1. You always hear about the Lotus Esprit. You very rarely hear anyone mention the Nissan R390. The same as the Venturi. You don't really hear many people talk about those, the Venturi M12s. Even though they were basically like France's answer to Ferrari. But the Venturi were notorious for the 1994 version of Le Mans for being a nuisance to overtake when it came to lapping them under blue flags. There's a video you can find on YouTube. It's only like 5 minutes long. It's like a highlights of the 1994 Le Mans. And it's like the 1994 Le Mans 24 hours was different. Oh yes, the XJ220. Yeah, great car. The problem with the XJ220 is it didn't really have the potential that it should have. It was meant to have a V12 engine, but for some reason they gave it a V6. And it never quite had the cornering design to truly make it next level. But it's incredibly rare, it has to be said. One of the cars that I always thought was overrated from the 90s was the Ferrari F50. It was not very good. Nice one, we're chaining the corners together so far, we're going good. Hopefully we'll be able to win this race first time, and with that be able to find out what the prize car is going to be. I'm really curious what it is. I'm expecting it to be some kind of supercar, but it could be a racing car because it's quite a high caliber championship, this one. Let's get on the throttle nice and early. Nice. Beautiful. So it's quite a long lap, this one, in this car. It's like I say, it's the 137's my fastest, and I think the Pagani Zonda has now become second place. So the Italians are coming. And those rear tyres are looking a little worse for wear, so I am nervous here, I must admit. Excellent, we're doing good. Yeah, those tyres are very orange. We have a nervous final lap here, I think. As we're trying to make these tyres last. Oh, so I mean, I just had to hit a massive tank slapper when I was going at a decent speed. I think I've got enough time now to do a driving Miss Daisy and drive very slowly on the final lap. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Yeah, the car is getting very, very twitchy in high-speed corners now. It is really not liking them. But we're locked in. We don't have enough time to stop the tyres. We simply don't. We are locked in whether we like it or not. It's like I'm driving on the Campiñón del Muerte in Bolivia, and I'm literally right on the edge and the rocks are crumbling away. To my right is a 1,000 foot drop into the Amazon. That's kind of what driving on these tyres is like at the moment. Every moment it feels like the edge is going to crumble and give way, and I'm trying to wrestle the car, keeping it on the island, and even when we're going just over the edge, there's enough power to bring us back. These tyres have reached the limit. These tyres have reached their absolute end of life. I am absolutely all over the place at the moment. Listen to the lack of traction out of the corner. This is the danger when you've got the soft tyres on. That's it, we're done, we're finished, we'll lose, we've lost. Or have we? Can we clutch this? No, we can't. I've not got enough grip. I've got literally zero grip. There's nothing I can do. He's going to muller me here. Oh! There's absolutely nothing I can do unless... Yeah, just ran out of grip. Just ran out of grip at the end of the race. Gutting. Absolutely gutting. There's only one thing we can try, is do that again. And pray we can make the tyres last longer. So we are going to try again. We're going to try one more time. Say, this car is a challenge car. It's chewing the tyres to pieces. That's the problem. It's got all the power in the world. It's got amazing power, and when it is on the corners nailed, it's beautiful. But it's so lacking in grip at the top end, and that's the problem. It's just like it's chewing through the tyres by sliding. So I've got to try and do something to save the tyres. Oh, no, didn't mean to do that. I'll take it, but it wasn't meant to happen that way. As you say, Joe, I man this car, but the car itself has got all the power and... Oh, for God's sake. If we fail this time, that's what we'll do. We'll do the tyre switch. That time I understeered. I didn't oversteer, I understeered. Which is something I've not had in this car before. No, you don't. You're not rear-ending me. Not now. The only issue I've got then, Joe, though, is like the medium tyres will have so little grip, I'll still start spinning in the corners, I think. But I guess we've got no choice but to try it. First things first, though, let's try and take it a little gentler, because again, a part of it might be always a bit too exuberant at certain points. Once again, I understeer for no reason then. I don't understand. Why is my car understeering now? Before it was oversteering, now it's understeering. But that's okay. We're in a decent position. And again, this car's not really meant to be here. I'm trying it in this car for part of my price car challenge run to see how far we can get. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Interesting. His car was sideways and I tapped it and it didn't spin. Never mind. I wasn't aiming to spin him. That wasn't what I was aiming to do anyway, but that's not the point. Aiming to spin him or not, it should have still gone round. Still, it's okay. This is all about riding the car as much as we can. And again, it's the sports tyres. Having to use sports tyres. This is a supercar festival. We should be allowed to use racing tyres. We're meant to be a festival of supercars, not festival of road legal high-powered cars. Oh, that's a point. I wonder if that guy's done that in his road legal challenge. Only use sport tyres because slicks are illegal. Right, okay. That's not too bad. Yeah, this is feeling a little bit smoother and I'm hoping the tyres are going to hold up better. I'm trying to have less of a lead and more wear in the tyres. That's the way I'm planning to do this. Go slow to go fast, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I was able to correct that a lot easier because the tyres weren't as on the ragged edge. I say this car is fun to drive, but it's a real challenge. You have to work hard. It's not easy to get the fun factor out of it, but when you do it, you have a massive smile on your face. Again, it's like owning an old classic American car. You'll spend a lot of time pushing it with your friend back into a parking space because the engine hasn't worked and your carburetor's died and your spark plugs are out. But one day, everything will work. You'll have a nice summer breeze, an open road, no traffic, and all will be right in the world. You're also probably not going to be in the UK because you're not going to have the weather to enjoy it very often over here. So as you can see, we're not pulling away this time from the Pagani or from the Nissan. We're trying to keep them much closer because the idea is to do enough to stay in front but manage the gap. It's driving like Sebastian Vettel used to for Red Bull, but essentially you're trying to win the race by going slowly. Niki Lauda once said the best way to what you want to do in a race is win it as slow as you can. Not set fastest laps, not set the record books light, just creep over the line with your car perfectly intact. Yeah, that's true as that as well, Avian, you're not wrong. It sits on blocks, holding down your driveway, because you can't use it. Especially here in the UK, because everyone will nick your tyres. But you can see the tyres are now in the yellow condition, they're not orange. We've got a lot more tyre wear to use to our advantage here. So if the Pagani suddenly starts absolutely blitzing our lap times, we'll be able to try and put the hammer down. But I'm hoping that I won't need to. See, it's nice. It's a nice challenge in a way, because the car, yes, I prefer to use racing tyres, which have got more durability and more speed because of the design for it. But we're certainly doing enough at the moment to hold our own. Oh, it's got a tank slapper then for no reason. Middle of the corner, I just got a tank slapper. That kind of thing there is the reason to consider using save states. Because if you get that kind of thing, just the car just suddenly acts how it shouldn't act for you for no real reason, you can just reload your state. But we're not doing that. We've got just enough tyre wear, I think. Keeping an eye on the rear view mirror so I can do enough to try and keep ahead of him, but not at the same time waste my tyres. And again, this course is a very difficult course for this car because it's not really designed for the undulations and especially in the middle of corners. Like here, for example, where you've got the downhill looping bend. It's really not designed for this. This car's not designed to handle it. But the tyre wear is critical at the moment. Despite my best efforts to save tyres, it's just not quite been able to do it. But we're not gone yet. It's too soon to give up. Avoid the tank slapper by braking there, that's good. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, good, we've got grip. Oh, what the... He just punted me off! He just punted me off! He just punted me! I'm not having that. Yep, that's right, I wall-rided. I did that on purpose. I wouldn't have done that, but he punted me. He actually hit me. I'm not standing for that. I don't know what the NASCAR driver's name is, but there was a NASCAR driver who actually wall-rided in a real event. I've just channeled him. That's my excuse. It's not a good excuse, but it's an excuse. So now the question is, what was our reward for all this torture? Because this car, this roof CTR Yellowbird, get it off sport tyres, for God's sake. Oh, here we go, people. Pray for something good. Oh! It's the unofficial Ferrari that we've actually raced against. The Cizeta V16 T94. I've never even heard of this car. It looks like an early version of a Lamborghini Diablo. That's my reward. Which is kind of good, but also not at the same time. So as you can see here, unless we need to redo those two races that weren't run there, it's says we need to win all beginner and professional events. So I might have to do those 2 races at some point in the World Classic car again. But the problem I've got, if I go to beginner events, so far I've not won a front car. I don't think I've got a car that's suitable for this. 400mm or less. Right. Okay. Well, this car, it says 400, and this is quite a small car. And that's 4,000. Right. Okay, it's not as small as I thought it would be. That's not going to be it. It's a long wheelbase. I can't see that. No. No way. Won't be the Jag. Don't think that'll count. I think it's 4,000 bang on. Yeah, it's 4,000, so it's not that one. Oh, apologies there. I was blowing into the microphone, getting a lot of feedback. That's 4,000. Thank God, because I don't want to drive it. I don't want to drive it anyway. Yeah. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's Dome Zero time. And that's nearly 4,000. What a shame. So that'd be quite a futuristic, freaky car to use, wouldn't it? The Dome Zero and the DMC DeLorean. Is that like the ultimate 70s car garage? No, that won't. I can't see the Peugeot being short. No, it's not. We need a small hatch. Renault 5? No, that's... Ironically, that might be it. I'm sure that's 3600. Now the question is it normal cars only? Because if it is, then I can't use it. Standard or sports type, that's 3400, not 36. Oh, so close! Damn it! I thought my Renault 6 rally car, Renault 5 was gonna be the one would do the job, but it's not to be. Damn it! Oh, come on! Do I have anything? Believe it or not, that's small enough. Right, let's soup it up. Let's soup it up. It's a Honda. Let's see what I can do to increase its horsepower. Oh, nope. That's accidental. I don't want to go there. That's the new cars. Right, it's got a racing exhaust. It's not got racing brakes. I don't think I'm going to need them. The engine, I can put a stage 3 NA tune in there to take it up to 123 brake horsepower. Meanwhile, turbo-wise, that's bizarre. I can put a stage 1 or a stage 2, but not a 3 or a 4. But that is better value than the natural acceleration turning. So you know what? We'll put that in. Give it an extra 50 horsepower. We'll give it an extra 50. It said that it needs sports tyres. That's fine. It's got a fully customisable. Nope, it needs sports tyres. Yeah, it's VTEC time. Yeah, here we go. Right, I get the feeling that this car is just going to be... Oh, I can actually lighten its load even more. Go on, I might as well. It's only got 640 kilograms, to be fair. So it is a light car. This could actually be quite a decent machine, believe it or not. Right, let's give this a try. It qualifies, so we're in. It's a start, I suppose. The driving park, Scuba Circuit, and the driving park again. So it's all the small courses. It'd be interesting to see how this gets on here. Well, it's up against the Suzuki Alto. This might actually be a good car for it. It's got a 1 A-spec point race for it. Oh my god, look at the size of that car versus the one it's up against. Here we go, people. It's the most ridiculous race of all time. And yet we're in the lead. Actually, no, we're not. We're behind the Suzuki Alto. What am I talking about? Of course we're not in the lead. The only issue here is finding a place to pass them. Oh god, it's so slow on the acceleration in the low gears though. You see there, look at how gutless it is. This car is absolutely gutless. I'm not going to be beaten by an MPV. Listen to the sound of that turbo, it sounds pathetic. Yes, this is the peak. Yeah, it might have 10,000 RPM, but it's not doing much with the RPM, is it? That's the problem. It's doing fuck all with it. We're revving up to nearly 10,000, and look at the speed we're getting. We're getting barely anything out of it. It's so slow. Car from the 1960s. Oh god, this is absolutely hilarious, this car. But to be fair, at least it goes, unlike the Mercedes-Benz Motorwagen or the Ford Model T. Right, I bet we're going to get something stupid like a bleeding, I don't know, a 38 brake horsepower truck or something as our reward for this. We're going to get a stupid prize. Well, we set a fastest lap though. We won by 8 seconds. On such a tiny track. Absolutely ridiculous. Now we're going to go to Spa. 3 laps of this circuit in a car which is many, many years old and has no power at all. This is a lot of other cars that are not so old with no power at all. So it's like I'm driving in a shoebox in this car. I'm being caught out by the actual braking points on this circuit. This car, I'm not used to driving at such low speed, so I'm like needing to brake about 40 metres later than I need to. Than I am doing, sorry. I'm braking far too early. I'm being caught out by it. I'm not used to driving such slow cars. Still, we're into the lead. Yes. Feel the love of the turbo, people. Feel the monstrous power as we're dragged along here in Scabar. I gotta say, the most torturous experience when it comes to this track is in the B license when you have to drive the Mini 1 on a guided lap behind the Toyota, behind the Nissan Skyline pace car. Oh, that is horrible to get to go on. It is one of the worst license tests ever. It's just so slow. Not helped by the fact that they give it N2 tyres, so they give it one of the worst sets of tyres in the game. You have less grip than the Tory MP does on reality. Yeah, we're way in the lead here. This car has absolutely obliterated the field. Not something I expected to happen, but that's okay. In a way, it's a good thing that we didn't manage to use the Renault 5. I reckon that Renault 5 rally car would have absolutely rinsed it and started lapping people. So it's probably a good thing. We've only got one more race of this torture and it's done. Yes, the Suzuki Cappuccino. And they're so slow, we're not even going to see what time they cleared it in. That's how slow they are. So that's Ichido, as they say in Japanese. And we've got one more race. And then we can put this torture behind us. Or can we? I'm not so sure. 7 laps. Oh, God. Really? 7 laps? Ugh. What circuit have they given us this time? 7 laps? Oh, come on. It's the beginner course. Oh, no. Oh, this is the course where I can just cheat. I recognise this course now. It's very strange. Certain camera angles on this version of the game look really blurry, and then other versions of the camera angles are fine and they don't blur at all. Yeah, I'm splitting the atom, people. Oh Get your MPV out of my way. There's the Honda Beat. But you can beat it. Beat the Beat. It sounds like some kind of game involving the police. That Beat the Bobby on the Beat. Meanwhile, Hunter Iggy jumping in asking what's up. At the moment, just my stress levels. Having done that supercar event in that roof CTR Yellowbird, my stress levels are through the roof with that in final race at Infineon. That was a challenge and a half. Fun though. How's things going for you then, Hunter Iggy? Hunt all the people who ignore you online. Hunt the Iggies. Anyway, welcome back to you as well, Queen. How's it going? Well, it's fine now. We've managed to get through that supercar event, but we had one race at the end which was proving somewhat of a nightmare. The car liked to chew the tyres, and I ran out of grip halfway through the final lap and got defeated. Second time, I was just about holding it together, and he tried to ram me off the road. So I resorted to wall riding in order to win. Yes, I'm a dirty cheat. No, I regret nothing. Of course, the thing about using prize cars only means that we have a limited supply of cars, and we have to try and make the best of what we got. Sometimes we've got ones that are overpowered, and other times we're very much up against it. But that's just the way it goes. I was fine, it owed me an extra 7,500 credits coin, so it's not like a massive deal. Get through this end of this race, and then I will answer the rather long question that's come through, because it's a question I do want to answer and I'd like to be fully focused on it. So I'll be with you in just a second for that one. Can we lap at least one car? Can we really rub salt into the wound? We can. We've lapped a car. The ultimate insult. The Mitsubishi Minica has come a lap behind the Honda S800 race car. And the others, well, they look ridiculous, and they're not going to be timed in place anyway. So, Hunter Iggy asking, do I think Kaz is losing touch with Gran Turismo on the modern day PlayStation? I think Kaz, unfortunately, has lost touch with GT games quite a few years ago, going back to the PlayStation 3, to be honest. But the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 for Gran Turismo 7 in particular, I'd really say that the ball has been dropped in a huge, colossal way. I'll go further with that in a moment, but first of all, I want to find out what prize car I've won. I'm expecting some really lame 30 brake horsepower car from the 1940s. Oh no, the Ginetta G... That's actually a really sleek looking machine. That's really stylish, actually. I really like that. The Ginetta G4 from 1964. That looks pretty swish. I like that. That's awesome. So getting back to my point then, Hunter. Part of the thing for me is I find that with Gran Turismo 7 now, it's almost like we're being treated like employees. It's a case of log in, earn enough miles to then get a tiny little reward from the company, which will spin round and go again. It's like you're trying to show, oh, this week I did this and did this and did this. Please give me an excellent rating. That's what it feels like. It doesn't respect your time. I also find it hilarious that we've got a game that brought back all the license tests away to S, and you only need the B and the A to complete the game. There's no IB licenses, there's no IA license race, and there's no S license races. Yet if I go into this game, there's licenses for all of them. I find it absolutely hilarious that that's the case. It's ridiculous. And of course, the big one is the things like the car invitations. Here you've got 2 weeks to buy a car that costs 4 million credits. Oh, you've not got 4 million credits? Well, how about you buy some from us for $19.99? Or enter into multiple grinding races and hope to do it because of the fear of missing out. Maybe it's just me, but I'm not afraid of missing out on a car that's a piece of random code that I'm never going to own. Well, that's just me. So has Kaz lost touch? Unfortunately, I say yes. And it's very, very sad. I long for the days of games like this. I really do. Right, rant over. Let's go and try and win some cars in the special conditions because I'm running out of main races to do here. And I don't want to be doing that. So, let's take the Delta Integrale out for a race. You didn't play it. You say your favourites Hunter are GT3 and GT5, but you didn't play 4. 4's brilliant. It's probably got one of the biggest car rosters and has one of the better presentations. It also feels much more like what people call the JRPG of racing games, where you can literally just get out there and have fun with it. I think it's absolutely superb. It's one of the games that I feel is a bit timeless, and there's a lot of ways you can get through it. I do love the other games though. GT3 has very, very good, has extremely good driving physics from what I've seen. Let's get some dirt tyres on, and then we'll get some snow tyres on as well. I want to see if we can get any cars from the special conditions. Because as I say, we've run out of main races and I really need a front car. That's what I need. It's a bit late in the night to be able to start a endurance race, even though there's quite a few I could do. Right, that's the ice arena. The Rally Chamonix, that's ice as well. Oh, Tour of Tahiti. Let's try this. Dirt tyres required, that's fine. It's the Tahiti Maze. Gotta remember this from Gran Turismo 2. The Tahiti Maze. In Gran Turismo 2, there was a license test on the S license. And in the American version of the game, it was something silly like 2 minutes 5 seconds. For the PAL regions, it was 1 minute 55. They made our gold time 10 seconds faster. Ooh, we've got a rallycross event. We're starting on tarmac. That's interesting. So we're going to have very limited grip, but then we're going to go onto the tarmac, so onto the dirt. So here we're going to struggle for grip, but then we're out into the dirt. And here's what you can do on this game: you can just wall ride. Wall ride, go boo. Of course, got to be careful for the penalties in this race. That's the one issue. So the rally events is something I'm not very good at. I will be honest. I'm not very good at rallying. I've just never quite got the hang of it, you know, in terms of where you should be aiming your car, or the best way to get around the corners. To the point that I'm actually close to getting defeated here because I'm so poor at this game. This is meant to be easy, by the way. Could have fooled me. Because I don't think this is easy at all. So I will get around to reading your messages once I get to a point that's easier to read them. It's like when you're in the middle of a race, it's not so simple. It doesn't help that I don't really know the rally courses, so I've not really got much understanding of them. I do love the little 2D models that are moving though. It's like, well, this was very forward thinking in many ways. It had features that most of the racing games simply didn't have. That's what made it feel so cutting edge back on the PlayStation 2. And it still looks tremendous today. Okay, yeah, it looks a bit ropey because
quite a few things in the background don't have the detailing due to the technology they had to play around with, but it shows where they were aiming for the future. Like, you know, you've got all the parked cars, like the service cars, the grandstands full of people, the people taking photos. Even the church there looks far better than it did on the old games, and even on some of the modern ones. What's really strange about this game, though, is it takes place in Tahiti Maze, and the race Tahiti Road has never been back in the series since GT2, along with Red Rock Valley. I never played Gran Turismo 6, actually, unfortunately, because I actually, believe it or not, didn't have a PlayStation 3. I was Xbox for that one generation. And I kind of am glad I did, because the Xbox was a better overall experience online from what I've seen. Having played a few of the PlayStation 3 games on PlayStation Plus Premium, there were some gems that I missed out on, but there was also a lot of shovelware. Like a certain racing game involving trucks. Thank you for that, Avian. Thank you for choosing that in the PlayStation Plus Roulette Night. I really appreciated playing that piece of shit. Yes, truck racing for the PS3. Do not go near it. Why it's in the classic section, I don't know, because it's a piece of shovelware bollocks. If you go PlayStation Plus Premium and attempted to try out to see if it's so bad it's good, it isn't. It's so bad it's bad. Oh, you're saying it wasn't you, Avian, and who was it? Whoever it was, thank you. And apologies if I blamed you for something that's not there. Oh, that's right, yeah, you chose Ape Escape. That was a major upgrade. No, it wasn't. It was shit. I'm going to say, if you buy that game, Joe, then you are a masochist, is all I've got to say. Because I played it for, I think, 10 minutes. And it was just unbearable. Hey, you still want to check out Anna? Yeah, it did sound quite interesting. Yes, you did, Queen. You chose Uncharted, and that ended up being very, very fun, actually. I enjoyed playing it. It was hard, but I enjoyed it. I forgot how long this race is. This race is really long. And because I'm trying not to wall ride as much, I'm not getting away from him. But that's okay. Let's say the game was simply called Truck Racing on the PlayStation 3. That's literally what it was. It was just called Truck Racer. It was either Truck Racing or Truck Racer. And as I say, it's in the PlayStation Plus Premium selection on the streaming section. Because bizarrely, PlayStation Plus Premium now, they've moved the PlayStation 3 games out of the classic section into the streaming section, because you can only stream the games, you can't download them. But obviously, you can play them, and that's why it's there. Now, we managed to win that event, but we didn't win it very convincingly. Colin McRae, I am not. As I say, if you want to see how bad it is, Joe, there is footage on my channel. There's a stream called PlayStation Plus Roulette. We did it on New Year's Eve. That was how we broke in the New Year, basically. It was like an 8-hour stream. And I think it was literally the second game we played after about an hour of... I can't remember what game we played for the first part, actually. Hunter, I'd love GT4 to be remastered. The thing is, I mean, like, I'm playing it now on PCSX2 on my PC using an emulator. I'm running it in 4K, and thanks to the 1080i mode that the game has, it almost looks HD. And there are people out there who've made a HD pack, if you can mess around with the emulator, to get it fully remastered. But the thing is, like, again... they always say you should never meet your heroes, and it's like, if you look at what Squaresoft did with the remaster of Crisis Core, that was amazing. Well, if you compare that to what Atlas did with the remaster of Persona 3 Portable, it's not that great. And I get the feeling that, like, the Polyphony, I think they'd be lazy and do a really not so good job of it. So I don't, in hindsight, I don't think I do want it. That's right, Queen. Yes, it was a zombie game. What was it called? Like, it wasn't called Zombie Survival. It was actually kind of an interesting game. But I think it was built around 2-player, wasn't it? It seemed to have mechanics that were designed for 2-player. So the solo experience wasn't quite as good. And we had that weird boss on the train that was really finicky because of the controls. And that's what made me give up. Because I was rubbish against the boss. Very dark side fell of me. Oh! Penalty! Oh, you wish you'd never seen that, Trev. You just found it, Joe. Isn't it terrible? It is so bad. It's awful. Yeah, it was the zombie side-scroller game. I think it ended up being ported to Steam, if I'm not mistaken, actually. I think it was on Steam for like $3 or $4. And it was kind of an interesting one. And Queen, you say the reason why you see what happened with Persona 3 Portable was why you don't want a remake for Final Fantasy VIII. Again, I mean, Final Fantasy VIII could work if they did it with the full Final Fantasy VII remake treatment. But I get the feeling that they probably won't. Final Fantasy VIII gets a lot of hate because of it being more romance-focused, even though it's actually a very good game. Yeah, the graphics are disgusting. You should try the performance, mate. The performance is even worse. It's got absolutely zero control, zero fun. It was 10 minutes of pain, and I went, I've had enough of this, I'm turning it off, guys. Choose another game, please. And then Avian happened to choose Ape Escape. I was so thankful for that. Now, I don't want the whispers, I agree with you. I mean, to be fair, remake story for Final Fantasy VII is like its own bubble. And if my theory is correct, the whispers are kind of important for another reason. But I do confess, it was kind of an irritating addition to the game, that. It kind of made the black capes from the original game not only appear early in the game, but with stupid powers that made no sense. In the original game, they were just random Joes who had no idea what was going on. Suddenly, there's supernatural beings that are able to manipulate time and space. Oh, I hate the penalties on this game. They're so annoying. So we got a permanent 1 second penalty thanks to the way the emulator displays the graphics. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about that. Right, I'm going to wall ride this time. I've decided. I'm getting annoyed now. Yeah, so this is the cheese way. This is how you cheese your victories. Yeah, see, that's not a penalty somehow. So you didn't like the whispers or the stupid dancing game, Queen? The thing is, I thought the dancing game really, it allowed them to go in and do the one thing in the remake that I didn't think they'd include. I didn't think they'd include that particular part in Chapter 9. I expected that to be removed because it'd be seen as like too cliche and weird, but they actually made it even better. I must admit, the dance was annoying, but the actual story of like how you get that particular point and the way the characters played it off was brilliant. Yay! We win! We win! Ended up winning by 8 seconds, purely because of wall riding. I've not played the new Forza Motorsport Hunter. Sorry, I've only just seen your question there. You literally just retyped it again at that point. I didn't see it because of the race. I've actually not played the new Forza games. The last Forza game I played was Forza 4, which was awesome. I played a demo for the original Forza Horizon, and I just felt meh to it. And of course, because I went back to the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, I'm not on the Xbox platforms, so I've not played the Forza games. Now we got another Renault 5, but it's a road-going Renault 5 this time. Nice. Right. Quick question. What's the drivetrain for the Renault 5? What's the drivetrain for it? Because if that's front, that could be useful. That's the rally car. I don't want the rally car. Where's the road-going car? 85. Oh, it was 80. There it is. 162 horsepower. Oh, it's MR. Damn it. God damn it. I was hoping that would be a... I was hoping that was going to be a front car. Well, the ice arena. Right. This is where we are going to cheat. We are going to wall ride on this one. We're not messing around on this. We are wall riding. Your rear-wheel drive is no competition for four-wheel drive. So here we are, into the ice wall. Ice wall go boo. And again, ice wall go boo. Because it allows you to constantly accelerate. I don't know how that didn't count as a penalty. I don't care. I'm not bothered. So the strategy I'm doing here, by the way, is if you're playing this game and you want to get the gold for the ice arena test, this is the way to do it. You think this feels more like bobsledding than the car race? You're not wrong, actually, Avian. The way I'm driving it is very similar to a bobsled. I'm aiming to get into the ice walls and get as much traction against the wall as I can. That's very... Oh, we spun. We're spinning round. Get out of my way. And yet, despite the spin, I've still managed to keep first place. If there's 446 cars in Gran Turismo 7, but that's including all the DLCs. Again, I've not played GT7 for months. I've refused to go back to it. I got bored. In this game, there's like 800 cars. There's more cars in this game, which is hilarious. Because it's like 2 generations in the past. So, Iggy, the fact that there's that many is insane. It's ridiculous. Absolutely insane. I have a Pontiac Sunfire, yeah, but it's not front wheel drive, it's front rear. It's FR, it's not FF. At least I believe. Unless this might be the game where I had a game corrupt. I think it is, actually. I think I had a save problem. And it erased some of my cars, and I think it's unfortunately lost me that car. So the Pontiac Sunfire is gone. That's the issue. I didn't sell it. I think it's just not in my it's not in my library. I think I had a save data. I think I had the save data corrupted. Yes, that can still happen. So that's why I'm nervous. So no, I don't have the Pontiac Sunfire. I have the other Pontiac, but that's the Pontiac Salsa's front rear, I think. There's got to be another prize car that's front. If I have to buy one, I have to buy one, but I don't want to. I'm trying to win this one with few purchased cars as possible. Get out of my way, you. Go away. I think he just hit me then. And that sent me off into the wall. Oh, yep, I got that wrong. My wall riding let me down there. The game was like, yeah, enough of your shit. You're not wall riding anymore. You will not cheat on my level. The game has had enough of my shit and gone, nope. You're not allowed to do that anymore. You can tell that I'm not really a rally driver, can't you? I'm sliding the car in places that are not controlled. I've got no car control. I've got no finesse. No style. Not much, really. So I think back in the 80s and 80s and the 70s, they take on stages like this with rear-wheel drive. They must have been crazy. I've not seen the new Dodge Charger, but if you're on about the Charger from 2012 and that, Hunter, it's okay, but it's not as good as the 1968 RT or the 1970 Super B. It just has none of the same boss look to it, which is really annoying. And yes, sadly so, Joe, yeah, it's quite annoying, but fingers crossed we'll get another car somewhere. Unfortunately, as I say, if the data's corrupted, the data's corrupted. There's not much I can do about it. There might be rewards from other manufacturer tournaments as well, so it's a question of, like, you know, using it elsewhere. But what have we got here then? We've got the Toyota RSC non-rally car version. I'm pretty certain that's going to be four-wheel drive. It's like it's a SUV. They're normally four-wheel drive. I'll be surprised if that is anything but a four-wheel drive. I'll take a look at it just in case. It's a black car. There it is. Yep, see, there it is. Four-wheel drive. 4WD. I'm just wondering if there's any other events I can take on. They've got the Peugeot 2. Oh, that's got more horsepower. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with the Peugeot 405. Now, I wonder. It has to be a 206. But you can use the 206 rally car. Don't think I've got a 206. Hunter, I'm pretty sure I already answered that question. I've not seen the new Charger. The last one I saw was one in 2012. And it was okay, but nowhere near the same as the one from 68, the Charger RT, or the one from the 1970 or 71, the Super B. Those ones are the proper classic. Well, there's the classic ones to me. They're the classic Chargers. Right, let's go and get some new tyres for this. Oh, no. Didn't want to do that. That's forward. Some dirt tyres from you. And some snow tyres as well. Say somewhere I will be able to win a front-wheel drive car that I can win that front-wheel drive tournament with. It's got to be out there somewhere. There has to be a car I can win. Right, Chamonix. Snow tyres required. Oh, I've had practice driving this car at Chamonix, haven't I? I did it in the license test live. Well, that was my punishment. Oh, up against another Celica from the same era. Good lord, this thing has so much power. Jeremy Clarkson described this car as being a Formula 1 car with mudguards. That's what he described it as. I mean, feel free to mention one, Joe. I mean, obviously we're trying to do this as, like, you know, a semi-blind run, but at the same time we want to be able to get through it. We've got so much power I'm spinning out. This is actually way faster than the Delta Integrale, which I'm surprised at, because the Delta Integrale won the Road Rally Championship 10 times in a row. But that counted as a penalty? I barely touched the damn thing. Oh well. No matter. We're on our way now. So I was hoping to win one in here in the special conditions, because I thought it'd be a good place for it. Because it'd be a bit surprising if the only front-wheel drive car you can get is from the license tests. They give you MRs, they give you four-wheel drives, they give front rears, they give rear rears. No, this is much more like it now. I feel like I'm back where I was before. Of course, in the license test you wouldn't get the 5-second penalty. You'd be treated to yellows, oh yeah, as you get the fail music. The moon, bomb, bomb. The most sarcastic fail music in the world. Yeah, another track that's not been brought back in the modern Gran Turismo, Chamonix. At least that's how I pronounce it. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I'll use the snow here. There's a way to have more traction, more speed. Yep, that's fine. Keep yourself going. So it's interesting, going back to the modern Gran Turismo, I think part of the problem with it is they've not really got licenses for that many modern cars either. There's quite a few times where some manufacturers, the newest car is from 2016, and considering that this game had cars that hadn't even come out yet, it just shows how much things have changed in a way. Whoa, hey, we managed to get around it, that's fine, no big deal. Take it very smooth now because we're near the end of the race, so we don't want to push too hard. Well, if we're going to have to buy one, that's really frustrating. I'm a bit annoyed about that. I'm very annoyed. It seems bizarre that there's only one front car that you can win. And if your data corrupts like on mine, you lose it. it seems strange that they give you all these four-wheel drive cars, all the rear cars, but they don't give you many front. That's really bizarre. Evidently, cars realise people don't really drive them, maybe, I don't know. But if we've got to buy one, we're going to have to buy one, which is frustrating. So I'll leave that to you guys in the audience. Name a brand. Name a brand, and we'll get a front wheel drive front engine car from them. As for trucks, that's the key question. Can I win a truck? There might be one in here in the special conditions. It's the kind of place where you'd be likely to win one. We've already won an SUV, so it wouldn't surprise me if there's like a Dodge Ram or something like that. I know that if you have the Dodge Ram, you can glitch to get 200 A-spec points, even if your car is going to be massively overpowered. I remember that being a feature back in the day. One of the tricks on the forums. Back in the days of when GameFAQs.com was actually a good place to hang out. Two penalties already, that's a problem. But we can survive it. Oh, good lord. Excellent, that's good. Okay, now we're making smoke. So we can't. The answer is, can we beat the game without buying any cars? No, because my save data glitched and we can't use the Pontiac Sunfire, which is very annoying. So what we'll do is we will buy a car, probably something like a Toyota Vitz or a. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll buy. I'll buy the Peugeot 206. Because at least then what I can do is use it in the 206 Cup. Unless I get the 206 Rally car, of course, which is one of the cars you can unlock. Although why do I get the feeling that's where you'll unlock that car? Ooh. So I don't think it's possible to 100% this game without buying some cars anyway, because there are some cars which are unique ones for the manufacturer event, so I don't think you can 100% regardless, but you can get bloody close. After this, we'll probably try one of the driving missions actually. That's something we can do. Whoa, spun around. No, we get it together somehow. I don't know how. We managed it, we're okay. Excellent, okay. Crashed over the line, but it doesn't matter. We made it. We managed to survive. So, the question is, what's our reward going to be for conquering Chamonix? I am le champion. Bubbly. Here we go. We've got the Infinity FX 45 concept. Looks like another SUV. Is there a tournament for SUVs? Because if not, why are they in the game? I'm intrigued by this. Infinity, of course, we had a massive deal with Red Bull at one point. It became one of their big title sponsors. Yep, four-wheel drive, big, burly car. Very strange. Yep, that's FR. I was just seeing if any of these count, but they don't. That's really frustrating. Very annoying. Cars from Oldsmobile and Pontiac and AMC. They'd have to get the licenses from GM for those. I think GM are the ones who own all the licenses for those cars. Yeah, it's a sports truck. Yeah, you can see there that it's all trucks. So the question is, where the hell do I get a truck from? Do I have to buy a truck? So I have to buy a truck, then that means I can't go there for sure. Right, well, I did say I'll be looking to buy a car that we can do this for. So we are going to have to buy a new car, which is frustrating as anything. We've got the 106 Relay, which is front. The 106 S16, which is front. The 206 Spider, which is front 134. That one's got one extra horsepower, the 307. Then we've got the 174 horsepower 206 RC. Or we can spend 750,000 on the rally car, which is four-wheel drive. No, we're gonna flash the cash. We've got red, blue, white, silver, and black. I quite like that blue actually. It's quite a nice colour. Yep. So the prize cars run comes to an end, people. We're having to get a front-wheel drive car. The question is, can I find anywhere that does a truck? So I don't have to buy a truck. Being defeated by that is frustrating as anything. Right, I'm going to just put some better tyres on this car. With the tyres, we'll easily be able to muller it. I'm going to put racing tyres on. I might not need to change the car in any other way. Especially for the beginner tournament. For the beginner, I'm probably... I've just realised, beginner, you're not allowed to use racing tyres. I'm such an idiot. I am a moron. But I'll be able to use the racing tyres, hopefully somewhere else. If not, I've just spent 27 grand for no reason. Quick test. No restrictions, cool. Right, okay, I'll come back and look at that later. But first of all, let's deal with the front tournament. There we go. Standard or sports tyres. This is going to be weird because I've not driven a front-wheel drive car in a very long time. It's going to feel very strange the way the car turns. And in, like, brakes as well. The braking and turning doesn't quite go the same way. A Renault Aventine. Ooh, 55 A-spec points. I'm surprised that it's that high. Here we go, people. Feel the gutless power. Because even with 174 horsepower, this feels very, very slow. We'll split the atom there. Problem with front-wheel drive cars, Joe, is the understeer. That's the big problem with them. And yeah, I know that you can buy a truck from the American dealers, Hunter, that's right, but I'm trying to do this with as few purchased cars as possible. So I'm wondering if it's possible to actually, you know, win a truck, like in the special conditions. With all the SUVs, it suggests it might be possible. Oh, what are you doing? Trying to win the race, I know, but there's no reason to pump me off. There we go. Now we're in the lead. How long can we stay here? That's the question. So you have to remember that I'm doing this, but I'm trying to do this as blind as I can. If you don't win any trucks, then I'll have to buy one. Oh! Oh, you cheeky mother. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a good move, but that's not the point. Get on the sand, you. Yeah, that's right. Start dueling the Mini. Leave me alone to win this race. Is that dirty driving? Maybe. Is it the kind of thing people do when you play Gran Turismo with no penalties? Definitely. Online lobbies on Gran Turismo 7 are proof of that. You have a sport ranking on that game. Sportsmanship. Which goes down when people smash into you. So, how's that exactly fair? You know what I mean? You mind your own business, you're taking your racing line, bang. Well, your driver rating's dropped now, you've crashed. So, I haven't crashed. Someone crashed into me. But there's no method of appeal. There's no way to get it back. That's why a lot of people moved away from playing that game, because the online focus destroyed the fun of it. That's the main thing is we are trying to win as much races as we can with the prize cars only. If we can't win all the races, then that's fine. You know, we're going to have to buy some cars. But the idea here is to challenge ourselves, so we're not just constantly, basically, buying our way to success. The roofed CTR Yellowbird, the Supercar Festival, for example, that was very, very hardcore. That was a hard challenge. Yes, Avian, I remembered to make sure I finished before I celebrated. Oh! Someone tattooed their bonnet to my spine after the race ended then. They have no racing etiquette at all. That they don't have. So that's that one in the can. So where's the next race? This is the one thing you've got to get used to with Gran Turismo 4. The loading. Ooh, it's a Suzuka. Surely this can't be the full circuit. Surely not. 3 laps of the full Suzuka circuit needs car. Oh, it's not. It's the East Course. Oh, thank God for that. Oh, someone's entered in a 2CV. I think. Hey, why is a Toyota Celica in this race? Ah, no, it's not. It wasn't a 2CV. Thank God for that. I was going to say, I thought surely no one's drove that damn thing. Into the S's, which are nothing like how you normally used to driving them. Slight lift, kink left, slight left. Nope, not in these cars. It's not. They're much more patient requiring. When this game came out, a lot of people hated this circuit. They all thought it was far too technical and difficult. Me, I loved it. So, pulled out a pretty decent lead so far. Yeah, nearly 4 seconds on the first lap. I'm quite impressed. Yeah, definitely feel the understeer there, but the extra grip from the sport tyres is doing enough. And at least we're not spinning out as much in this car. What we're not getting simulated in this game is torque steer. I first saw that in Forza 3. Very smooth. Yeah, we're currently nearly 5 seconds a lot faster than the field. I'm surprised at that. I'm very surprised. I'm not complaining though. I'm just surprised. Evidently the sport's soft tyres are too good for him. What I do find interesting is how many races in this game have tyre wear. That's really important. A lot of games didn't have that at this particular area, or if they did, they were like only later on. But this is in the beginner tournaments, and already there's tyre wear to worry about. You're not likely to run out of tyres, don't get me wrong, unless you've done something truly bad. So you're not going to be too bothered about it, but it's still quite interesting that we've already got that as a variable to factor in our races. Because of course, as your tyres wear down, you get less grip. Apologies, people. I just had to rearrange and get a little bit more comfortable. As I say, we are into the final part of the stream for tonight because I'm in the office tomorrow, so I can't stay on too late. But what I am going to do is try and finish this tournament. It's one I had to buy a car for. I had to break the cardinal rule. We've played much of this game by using prize cars only. 2 laps of Hong Kong. Ugh, this is going to be fun. 2 laps of Hong Kong. We've got a VW Golf and a VW Lupo. I get the feeling the VW Lupo is not going to be as good as the Golf. Oh, we're going in reverse this time. I'm not used to this circuit on the best of routes, let alone in reverse. Oh, yeah, memo to me, driving into a wall is not the fastest way around the corner. I'm not sure why. I don't know why that slowed me down. Answers in the chat box, people. Why would driving into a wall slow me down? Right to Swishbone is a clot at something.com. But you don't need me to tell you that I'm a clot. You see that from the way I drive. Yep, I'm following the Lupo. Interesting, the Lupo seems to have more power. It started to pull away from me then. But I have better drivability. That's true, actually, yes. Driving into a wall is less useful than talking to a wall. Though certain people don't understand the benefits of talking to a wall. Certain characters, that is. Oh! It's putting me up the sphincter. He literally just smacked me up the rear. Right, for that, Mr. Golf Driver. Spot of revenge is in order. Hitting me up the trumpet, who do you think you are? Yeah, once again, the driving into a wall strategy proving not that effective. Not very conducive to a lap time, that must be said. Yeah, well, if his was assault, mine was battery, so I can't complain too much. So don't worry, Queen. They may have done assault, but I did battery, so it's fine. I don't advocate that, by the way, people. Assault and battery is not advocated on my streams. Not even when it's part of stories and you're enough of an idiot to read out the line. Anyone who watched this my Steins Gate stream will know exactly what I'm talking about there. That was a corner cut. That was all four wheels off. That would have been a penalty in Formula 1. But we're not in Formula 1, so we don't have to worry about it. Still, we're going to win the race. All those glorious A-spec points. You've been seeing me getting like 5 and 1, and suddenly I'm getting 59 because I'm in a car which is not much better than the rest of the field. The maximum of A-spec points you can get are 200 per race, but for that you're normally trying to win in a car which is hopelessly out of its class against the others. That has actually been a challenge. People have done the 200 A-spec points challenge, like they've been adding weight to the car and things like that. Apparently, someone did a 200 A-spec points race of the 24-hour of Le Mans. I don't know how they did that or how they had the patience. Well, whoever that was, you are a legend. That's Gran Valley Speedway, and it's the Gran Valley East course. Ooh, 85 A-spec points. We're woefully underpowered here, apparently. So, we're out of our depth quite badly, apparently. Let's showcase how true or false that... Oh, well, that's going to help. If you guys want to crash into each other, you guys keep doing that. That's fine. I'm okay with that. That's perfect. Thank you. I think it's because of the lack of power. That's what's got us the A-spec points issue here. So I'm very much dependent on being faster in the corners. Oh, it's the Renault Clio 16 Valve. The car that racing game designers tried to make a thing in this era, and I still don't understand why. It used to always be plastered up there as like a super high powered car and one of the best cars you can get, and it was always rubbish. It was never good enough in any of the races, and it was like the cover star of like loads of games and everything, and I'm like, why? It's a shitbox. To quote Niki Lauda on his Ferrari back in the 1970s. Now this is where we're in all sorts of bother. We're going to have to rely on the breaking the toe strategy as much as possible here. I've got my eyes firmly glued to my rearview mirror. That dot's growing, but it's not growing at a pace at the moment, which is putting me under too much threat. So that might be enough for me to win this. 85 A-spec points for winning this, which means my car is not as good as the field. So having to buy it has its advantages. I've at least got the A-spec points. So here we go. We are on our way. As we go wide, and now we're coasting for the line. We are absolutely free of all threat. This is going to be a victory. And 85 glorious A-spec points are mine. Not bad at all. It is interesting racing in the lower volume cars, just to see the difference in speeds. It's so fascinating to go back to them. A VW Golf GTI came last. That's insane. I'm amazed by that. I'm absolutely amazed. So it's the final race. It's a twin ring Motegi. Which version are we doing? Are we doing the east course downhill or the fast course with the long straights? The second one would be better for me. We're doing the east short course. Yeah, we are. We're doing this one. It's still going to be a hard race for me to win, but it's not going to be as hard as the other variation. The other variation would be really, really difficult. But here, it's all down to driving. And I get the feeling we're ready to go. We've got a Golf, we've got a Honda Prelude. And I'm in a car that's a little bit gutless, must be said. So this is where I'm going to struggle, but it depends on how they take the corners, really. Helps that I can do that with front wheel drive. Well, if you guys want to break for that corner and slow yourselves down, be my guest. I'm more than happy for you to do that. Same here too, you're on the brakes, I'm letting go of the accelerator. With this being a rolling start, the problem is I start far too well away from the leaders. That's what makes this tricky. It's a Ford Taurus. I wasn't even aware that was in the game, a Ford Taurus. Having said that, I am playing the US version of the game and I'm too used to the PAL region. So that might be the Ford Mondeo in the version that I'm used to. Because that was the car we had over here. We didn't have the Taurus. And there's a Fiat Barchetta, I think. It's either that or it's the Fiat Coupe. I think it might be the 16V Coupe, that actually, now I think about it. That's what it looks like. Yeah, I could have braked much later then. There it is, it's even got Coupe on the license plate. Okay, well, even with the draft, he's pulling away from me. But it's okay. We've got one lap to catch him. 50 metre board on the brakes. I could have braked even later then. So that's one thing I will say, this car is infinitely better than them in the corners. Infinitely. Oh, a little bit of a drift there because I hit the dirt, but it's fine. Yeah, this is my race to lose. It's pretty good because there's been 2 races in a row that if we win them, we'll have been in a car that's rated less than the rest of the field, which is pretty awesome. It's almost a challenge run in and of itself. I can brake much later than I'm used to in this car. I think that's the problem. I'm too used to driving such high-powered machinery. I'm used to anywhere between 100 and anywhere between 180 meters of braking distance. Here I can probably brake at 20 meters, and I've just not got the confidence to do it because I'm not used to it. Still, we're going to cross the line and we're going to win. Not bad at all. 79 A-spec points. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been quite a varied stream. We've had some very fast cars and some very slow cars. It's been interesting to see. So what's our prize car going to be? It's the front challenge, so I can't see it being anything too special. Especially because it's the beginner events as well. It's the Mazda 6 Concept 01. Quite a nice looking car. It's the Mazda 6. So, in order to be qualifying for the World Championship and getting the end credits, I would need to get a truck. I would need to buy one. And then from there, be able to carry on the game. These events, we have to complete all the beginner and professional categories. Going back to professional, as we can see, I'm probably going to have to do those 2 races as well, because they're silvers. So I get the feeling I'm going to have to race those to get golds. And it says there, all beginner and professional events first. We must win them. So there's that one, and then that's the World Championship. So, with that in mind, what we're going to do is next time we play the game, we're going to go buy ourselves a truck. And then once we've got the truck, we're going to try and get through the truck racing simulation. Hopefully it's better than the terrible PlayStation 3 game that I played on the New Year's Eve stream. And then I have the Mercedes CLK GTR. Will that be enough to win the Gran Turismo World Championship? I'm not so confident, but there's only one way we're going to find out. So we're going to be back in 2 evenings time on Friday at 8 PM GMT, well BST actually, because we're in the British summertime now. We're going to be playing here live and exclusive to YouTube, so please do feel free to check that out. Well, until then, thank you all very, very much for watching. MPD, why no front prize cars if you can't get the one from the license tests?